Well, aloha. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kelehua, and it is a privilege and an honor to be here celebrating Kristin and Chris and on their beautiful Hawaiian wedding day. And I'd like to welcome our beautiful bride down the aisle with a love song from our musician.
There are places I remember all my life. Though some have changed, some forever.
You can hold hands and you can hold your flowers. There you go.
What's that? With lovers and
It's a beautiful song. Love this.
recall some are dead and some are living in my life. I love you so. In my life, I love you so.
Well, aloha. I like to begin with an oli aloha. It's a welcome chant in Hawaiian language, and I'll explain its meaning and its significance in just a moment. Akahai'ena Hawaii no kahi aku like olu olu kamana'o ha'a koku lana aho nui a lana kila aloha e aloha e. With that, I'd like to offer a prayer, or pule as we say in Hawaiian. E koma kua I loko o ka lani e mahalo kākou ia oi no ke ia la a me na poʻe a pau. E olu olu e hoʻomaikaʻi ʻoe ke ia kane a me kia wahine ma ko laua male ana. Ke nonoi haʻahaʻa nei kākou no na puʻuwai ma kaukau mau. E haʻawi I ke aloha nui ma kainoa o komo kua a me Yesu a me kaʻu hanehemolele. Amene. I want to talk about a word that I hope in the time that you've been here until the moment that you depart and every day after that you experience. And that word is aloha. We grow up learning it to mean hello, goodbye, greetings, and I love you. But the meaning that I want to share today is very special and appropriate for why we're here. If you take the word and you split it almost in half, alo means to stand face to face, sharing something with someone that you love, which you're going to do in just a moment. Ha is your breath, your life, your spirit. And so later in this ceremony, the honi honi, or the Hawaiian kiss, is so special because it's the sharing of your breath, your life, your love with this person that you've come so very far with. But the word aloha can be broken down a little further also, and each letter stands for a word in the Hawaiian language that has to do with what love is all about. And so to begin, I chanted the Oli Aloha, the welcome chant, and in it explains 5 key pieces that you've no doubt used along your journey to get here today. The first A stands for Akahai, kindness, and that's where love begins. So if we go back to when you first met, I would imagine that of the many qualities you noticed, one of those was kindness, Akahai. The L stands for Lokahi, or unity, togetherness, and that's how love survives and endures over time. The O for olu olu, or gentleness and compassion. And the H for ha'a ha'a, or humility. The last A stands for aho nui, and the last line of the chant said, aho nui a lana kila. With patience comes the victory. And the two of you stand here today undoubtedly victorious. Regardless of where you've been, how long or bumpy the road may or may not have been to get here, nothing will be the same after today. You'll always have this person standing by your side, holding your hand and walking you through whatever season life may bring. And as we all know, life can bring some pretty incredible seasons. Some that we look back upon and remember fondly, and others that knock us on our side and make us go, what just happened? And yet, here you are, like you said, in 2021, standing next to your best friend saying, I do, I choose you. And that's the wonderful thing, is that you get to make that choice. We don't get to choose our families. Our families are something that we're given, and children are something we're gifted, but our spouse, we get to choose with free will, with intention, with purpose. And you stand here today doing exactly that. And generations from now, after many years have passed, someone will look at your family history, your genealogy, and although they will have never met you and not have been among us today, they're going to see two names and a line drawn between those two names, symbolizing this moment where two completely separate family trees, blessed by the rain, are becoming one. So this is your legacy and your heritage. What I want you to do is to turn toward one another, okay, and I'm going to take your flowers. Okay.
Listening up?
Uh-huh.
Is it lightning up?
I think so. Ah. And I want you to think on this. Here in Hawaii, it goes without saying, we receive a lot of rain, and it is what makes everything so green and lush and beautiful. The reason I talk about that is this. When you come to points in your relationship when it starts to rain, when the road is a little bumpier than normal, the path a little windier, you remember that you just have to get through the rainy times to get to the most beautiful parts of your relationship with one another, where you look at this person that stands before you and you realize how much stronger, how much wiser you've become. And hopefully, because of those challenging times, how much more love, peace, patience, kindness, understanding, self-control, all the fruits of the Spirit that you've gained, as well as never to be forgotten, grace, mercy, and forgiveness. And last but absolutely not least, a greater sense of humor. So the ability to laugh, both at yourself and also with each other, and the ability to practice those two words that are sometimes so difficult to say, depending on our personality, I'm sorry. And to practice those your entire life. And if you're on the receiving end, to be able to extend that grace, mercy, and forgiveness I was talking about. That's okay, babe. We got this. And all together, because of the rain, you're better and stronger together. I want you to take a brief walk down memory lane as I ask you to think back to the first day that your journey together started. I want you to think back to the very first time you saw this person's face. Yeah? I want you to think back to your very first date. Do you remember where you went? Yeah? What you ordered, and don't forget all those fun details. I want you to think back to your very first kiss. Do you remember who leaned in first and where you were? I want you to think back to the moment that you felt your heart choose this person to give your life to, the moment that you were sure, and the moment that you knew that your partner was sure also. I want you to think back to every beautiful, amazing moment that led you to this very spot, right here on this beautiful beach in Hawaii, the middle of the ocean, where the sand is beneath your feet, the ocean behind you in all its glory, the trade wind through our hair as the trees are dancing above on your perfect Hawaiian wedding day. In Hawaiian culture, we honor our loved ones with lei for every special occasion. So birthdays, retirements, promotions, graduations, and of course, weddings. And so what I want to do is I want you to join your hands in between your lei, just like that, but in between. And I want you to look at your lei for just a moment. Each seed and shell and nut and flower that go into a lei represent the things that make you special and unique. These are the things that you fell in love with each other for, the things that make you laugh and cry and sigh and giggle. The things that make you exactly who you are. And as you present your lei to one another, what you're saying is, I give you everything that I have and everything that I am. I thank you for accepting me for exactly who I am and how I am, for knowing the real me and the depths of me and the intimate things others don't get to know. And you're saying, I thank you for growing up alongside me through all the past seasons we've been through and the many more that have yet to come. And what I like to do with our pikai ceremony, using water from the ocean, not too far from here, fresh water flows down, especially from the rain that hits the Ko'olau Mountains, and it mixes with the salt water, and it was where Hawaiians would go for healing and purification. And so what I want to do is bless the past, the present, and the future. And in true Hawaiian fashion, I want you to present your lei to each other one at a time, giving each other your lei over the head and neck, and give each other a kiss on the cheek. So whoever wants to go first.
Love you. Did I mess it up?
And taking each other's hands, I want you to repeat after me your Hawaiian vows. You're going to say at the same time, Eia au,
Eia au,
Eia oi,
Eia oi,
Ika
Ika
ho'iho
ho'iho
ke aloha,
ke aloha,
no kau
no kau
a kau
a kau
e kipa mai
e kipa mai
ke aloha,
ke aloha,
aloha vau,
aloha vau,
ya oi.
ya oi.
That was really good, you guys. You want to know what you said? Sure. Yeah, let's find out. You said, Eyao, here I am, and Eya oi, here you are. I ka ho'i ho ke aloha, as we are surrounded by our love, near and far. No kaua kau for all of time. E kipa mai ke aloha. Let us remember to invite love back in. Aloha vau ya oi means, for it is you that I love. Okay. And what I want to do right now is I'd like to have you bring the rings right here, okay? And you're each gonna take your rings, okay? And hold on nice and tight. Perfect, wonderful job. And you're gonna stand right here, and what I'd like you to do, Chris, is to take the ring that's gonna go on Kristin's finger and place it halfway on her finger, okay? Good, and then turn your hand this way to show it off. Good, and hold her hand like this, except don't cover the ring. Perfect. Yep, and I would like the privilege, woo, and honor of blessing the past, the present, and to a beautiful, beautiful future. And I want you to repeat after me. As you look at your bride, you're gonna say to her, this vow is my promise.
This vow is my promise,
And this ring, my gift of love for you.
and this ring my gift of love for you,
With all that I have
with all that I have
and all that I am.
and all that I am.
I promise to always
I promise to
be
always
faithful and honest,
be faithful and honest,
patient and kind.
patient and kind.
I will believe in you.
I will believe in you.
I will believe in us.
I will believe in us,
Because love never fails.
because love never fails.
Wherever our paths take us,
Wherever our paths take us,
we go together.
we go together.
For all of my days,
For all of my days,
I give myself to you.
I give myself to you.
And you're going to place the ring all the way on her finger. And now, Chris, I want you to bring your hand forward and down. And with your left hand, Kristin, you're going to take his ring. So with your left hand, Kristin, perfect. You're going to place it halfway on his ring finger. Yep. And bring your hand down so we can see it and show that ring off good, because I would love to bless the past, the present, and to a beautiful future. And I want you to repeat after me. As you look at your groom, you're going to say to him, this vow is my promise.
This vow is my promise,
And this ring, my gift of love for you.
and this ring my gift of love for you,
With all that I have
with all that I have
and all that I am.
and all that I am.
I promise to always
I promise to always
be faithful and honest,
be faithful and honest,
patient and kind.
patient and kind.
I will believe in you.
I will believe in you.
I will believe in us.
I will believe in us,
Because love never fails.
because love never fails.
Wherever our paths take us,
Wherever our paths take us,
we go together.
we go together.
For all of my days,
For all of my days,
I give myself to you.
I give myself to you.
You're going to place the ring all the way on his finger. And now I'd like to invite the boys to come right into the circle. Okay, and you're going to stand right by the bride and groom. So right there, okay? And you go right on that side. Perfect. And I'd like you, Chris and Kristin, to repeat these vows after me at the same time to the boys. Okay, you're going to say, we pledge to you
We pledge to you
our continuing love
our continuing love
as we surround you always
as we surround you always
with our arms
with our arms
of support and protection,
of support and protection,
for better or worse,
for better or worse,
for richer or poorer,
for richer or poorer,
in sickness and health.
in sickness and health.
We promise
We promise
to love and cherish you
to love and cherish you
all the days of your life.
all the days of your lives.
We face the future as a family,
We face the future as a family,
as we have promises
as we have promises
and commitments
and commitments
to each other,
to each other.
we also make them to you
We also make them to you
because we love you.
because we love you.
All right. Come right back out, guys. Awesome. Okay. In Hawaiian culture, sand is a very important part, and we use the term one hanao to mean sands of my birth. And talks a little bit about where one is from and who they are. And so what I want to do is give you each a satchel of sand. And I want you to look at your sand for just a moment. Your sand is made of the same material, but each grain is unique and special, just as you are unique and special to one another. And what I want you to do is to symbolically pour out your hearts to each other as you open your satchels. And at the same time, you're going to pour your sand into this larger bag. Okay, so go ahead. Okay. Good. And you're going to put your satchels right inside. Yep. And then I want you to close up your bag and look at your sand for just a moment. Your individual sand has mixed, never to be separated again, just as you shall never be separated from each other, and you'll always have a little bit of the beach to take home with you to remind you, a little bit of the Pacific Ocean beach to go back to your beaches, to remind you of your vows and promises to each other on this beautiful day. Okay. And I'm going to hold on to it for you because we've come to the most intimate and sacred part of our ceremony, the honi honi. And before that, I'd like to share two important scriptures. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, "A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken." And so those are blessings for you on this day. And with the honi honi, that is the meaning of aloha. So alo, to stand face to face. You're going to face each other, taking each other's hands. Ha is your breath, your life, your spirit. And oftentimes around Polynesia, you'll see folks greet one another with the honi honi. So I want you to gently place your foreheads and your noses together. You're going to close your eyes and just breathe. Ho'onani kamakua mau, keiki me ka'uhane no, ke akua mau, ho'o mai ka'ipu, ko ke ya'au, ko ke la'au, amene. I want you to take a deep breath in and release. And as you stand back and look at each other, I have the most important question of the day to ask each of you. Chris, do you take this beautiful woman to be your wife, your partner, your best friend, and your most special companion all the days of your life?
I do.
And Kristin, do you take this man to be your husband, your partner, your best friend, and your most special companion all the days of your life?
I do.
Well then, with another blessing coming our way, I am honored and privileged to present you here in the state of Hawaii as husband and wife. You may kiss your bride.